Okay, TikTok.
Tik Tok Ban, we get the fuck out of here.
Yee.
Well, get to part 3.
Indeed.
I'm excited for this grab bag, dog. We got a fat grab bag
gonna be-
today. I'm super
gonna be
excited.
healthy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be healthy. I have a whole Twitter thing, but then also we have the collective
Yup.
Instagram to hit.
IGs.
And this is going to take my bladder to the end. And then we're gonna have to bail after this real
Deal.
quick. So I don't know how you want to start this, but the one halfway decent article that I really found about the TikTok ban was from Scanner News, which should
Shout
not
out
be
Scanner
surprising
News.
anybody. Which is, if we all don't know, this is the formerly Timcast News, but I guess Scanner was originally supposed to be the deal. It's a long story, but it's finally out of legal woes and it's back in here. But breaking the House passes bill that could ban TikTok so long as it's owned by ByteDance and thus required to collaborate with the CCP. TikTok poses critical threat to our national security. So the House easily passed a bill that could ban TikTok in a 352 to 65 vote on Wednesday. This was just this past week.
Very bipartisan.
Very bipartisan, which also should be a red flag to people.
Super weird.
Because when the Uniparty gets together, it ain't fun. I love the name of the bill. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Application Act would require TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance to divest or be banned from all American app stores and web hosting. The bipartisan legislation was introduced by Republican Mike Gallagher and Democrat Raja Krishnamurthy.
Fuck yeah.
Yep, Krishnamurthy. We'll go with that. Gallagher is the chairman of the House Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party.
God.
That's a fucking committee assignment right there. And she is also a ranking member. There we go. We're just going to go with that. This quote, "This is my message to TikTok. Break up with the Chinese Communist Party or lose access to your American users," says Chairman Gallagher. Quote, "America's foremost adversary has no business controlling a dominant media platform in the United States. TikTok's time in the United States is over unless it ends its relationship with the CCP controlled ByteDance." So ByteDance being the parent company, which is a Chinese company, and every single Chinese company, you have to have members of your board that are CCP members.
And they have to own at least 1% of your company.
Indeed.
In most cases, it's much, much more than that.
Yes.
But they have to own at least 1%.
Indeed. The Select Committee said that in a press release, the bill creates a process for the president to designate certain specially defined social media applications that are subject to the control of a foreign adversary per Title 10 and pose a national security risk. Designated application will face a prohibition on app store availability and web hosting services in the United States unless they sever ties to entities subject to the control of the foreign adversary through divestment. So in other words, if you are a social media app, and we can actually look at the bill too, that has a bunch of stipulations in it. But if you're a social media app owned by what the Congress has dubbed a foreign adversary nation, so right now it includes,
not just a foreign nation.
No, a foreign adversary nation, which has to be designated by Congress. So right now, China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia. Those are the 4 on there. And you also have to be a social media app that, essentially a social media app. It has to be any kind of, we can get into the language later, but, and then all that's really required if you still want to stick around is you have to, whatever percentage of that company is owned by that adversarial government member has to be sold off.
Yeah.
And that's it. Then there you go. TikTok doesn't have to go anywhere. ByteDance just have to back out and sell it to somebody else that is not a member of the CCP. Done. I would guarantee you, if TikTok gets removed from the American market, like the app stores and whatnot, which I doubt that it will, because ByteDance is not wanting to. They don't want to lose
a lot of money. Yeah,
lose a lot of money, and even if they can probably still be, they'll still get their end.
There's plenty of fucking Chinese agents in America.
Amen, dude.
Plenty of Chinese agents in America that can buy
Tons.
that company and at least own whatever percentage ByteDance owned before. And
Oh yeah, through that. I mean, the 1,000 Talents program that they've been seeding here for decades. I mean,
Yes.
there's people here that can buy it from them, and they'll still get what they want. And then TikTok can still be around, so all these fucking, Gen Z and Alpha people don't have to go out and threaten to kill themselves if they get rid of TikTok. Which
what are they going to do without it, Colin? How are they going to live their lives?
They're just gonna have to be on fucking Reels or YouTube
Yeah, fuck
Shorts.
those people. Thin the herd.
Like,
I don't.
thin the
If
fucking
you're
herd.
gonna kill yourself because you can't have TikTok. Thin the fucking herd. I don't.
It's not good.
I know people hate that. Oh, I know on their show we're very pro people. I am pro people. Fuck you. If you're gonna kill yourself because of TikTok, fucking.
That's.
I can't
Darwinism.
tell you to do it because YouTube, but thin the herd. That's what I
Thin
would
the
say.
fucking
Thin
herd.
the herd. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my god! But the bill itself,
Poisoning you is literally poisoning you from the inside out.
it's destroying your mind.
Just thin the herd. Just
Thin the herd, baby. But
that's
a lot
what
of
we're calling
these
this episode.
thin the herd. God, there it is. Write it down. But in the actual bill, here it is, all in its fucking glory. When they really start to talk about what
It's like 12 pages, right? It's pretty.
it's pretty consumable, yeah. And a lot of it is tough because they make references to that other statute or that code or that code. But
Yeah.
realistically, all the meat and potatoes are here. And in this particular bill, it is literally only designed to go after ByteDance and TikTok. That's it. In this particular one. Now, mind you, once this thing is passed, it can always be amended, and then they can add other companies on there. They can change language, but that happens to literally every piece of legislation that has ever been existed.
It's the reality of
it's why we have
laws.
That's why we went from fucking Patriot Act 1 to Patriot Act 2.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's all bad depending on what your perspective is. But you could see in the bill, it only goes after ByteDance and their subsidiary company TikTok. And where is the area? That's all too small for me to read. Oh, right here. Can you read some of that right there?
Yes.
Because it starts to talk about the stipulations for
In
what's
general.
required.
In general, the term covered company means any entity that operates directly or indirectly, including through a parent company, subsidiary, or affiliate, a website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application that, one, permits a user to create an account or profile to generate, share, view text messages, view text, images, videos, and real-time communications or similar content.
Which is basically a social media platform, is what they're describing.
A post.
Yeah.
2, has more than 1 million monthly active users with respect to at least 2 of the 3 months preceding the date on which relevant determination of the president is made pursuant to paragraph 3. 3, entitles 1 or more users to generate or distribute content that can be viewed by other users of the website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application. And, 4, enables 1 or more users to view content generated by other users of the website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application.
Those go ahead.
Exclusion. The term covered company does not include any entity that operates a website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application whose primary purpose is to allow users to post product reviews, business reviews, or travel information and reviews.
So in other words, like Yelp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily a social media app, but it could be kind of construed as one. But things like YouTube would
Right.
fall under this category, any of the other major social media networks. But the broad recoil and the reporting in the corporate press is that they're going to come after TikTok, and then they're going to come after this and that, and they're going to be able to control.
Then they're going
gonna
to
have to pull,
Instagram, and then right.
and they're going to be able to pull websites down and this and that.
Yeah.
No, none of that is true. I mean, it's right there in the fucking bill. We did this. This is fucking don't say gay all over again.
Right.
This is the TikTok ban bill. They're gonna ban TikTok because they think it's bad. And then fucking Thomas Massey had his dumbass tweet where he highlighted one fucking line in there that was totally out of context, and then was like, "Oh yeah, this is bad. We can't do this." So it begs the question: because every single bill that has ever passed has potential to be something bad in the future, is this something we should entertain or not? Why do you think we should essentially force ByteDance to divest from TikTok?
I don't know. I'm having a difficulty kind of deciding why this is more of a national security concern than any of the other applications that we use. They are all collecting information from us. No one knows what they do with the information, even if they tell you what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've been sued a bajillion times for lying about what they said they're doing.
Yep. We know for a fact one thing they do with it is sell it to people.
And we know for a fact that multiple Twitter, before it was X, and maybe even still now because we don't know yet, and Facebook and Instagram have been used to manipulate the American society during politics. That's actively happened,
Oh yeah,
both domestically and by foreign nations, supposedly.
Yes,
you
yeah.
know,
Russia.
so I don't really see what the difference is there. You
Mhm.
know, other than like, well, they have ownership in it. I know. They could also own part of fucking Meta. I don't know that.
Well, they also, like the CCP itself. I mean, Chinese nationals own a ridiculous amount of farmland in the United States. They own massive companies all over the place.
I
mean,
didn't put together anything for that, but this whole time that I've been doing research for this, like I even wrote that down in the introduction and didn't say because I didn't have anything prepared for it. But like, what's the fucking difference between this and them owning land? Like, we allow foreigners to purchase American land.
Oh yeah,
What
real
is-
estate is a big one too.
What is the difference? Well, I don't understand what we're talking about.
Do you know how many fucking high-rise apartment buildings in Manhattan are owned by foreign nationals that don't fucking use them? They just use them as an asset to store value.
They could
Like there's at this point, if you're talking about, I get it, right? I'm not a fucking fan of TikTok. I think it's brain rot. We covered
actively
this.
don't use it. Yeah.
Exactly. We covered this shit in the very beginning with your let me answer this question, right? It's the short attention span stuff is bad for people. You shouldn't be doing this. But also you don't have to fucking use it. Your kids don't have to use it. There's plenty more places you can get fucking without being on TikTok. You could see a shit ton of TikToks. Just go to fucking Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Or or on fucking Twitter. All those, half of that shit's reposted from there anyways. But I don't know if I like the setting of the line where, like you were kind of alluding to, does this mean that no foreign investment is allowed to be done at all?
Which
Or
is fine if
mean,
that's what we're doing.
if
Like,
that's what we're going to do.
I don't really think we should be allowing foreigners to purchase American land. Like, I don't think that's a very good idea.
I don't like
You
that
know?
idea either.
If our concern is national security, there's literally nothing to stop them from buying 10 acres of American land, burying radioactive waste underneath it, and never touching land again. We won't know for 2 decades until everyone
Yep.
gets fucking cancer there. And I'm not saying like that's what they're doing. I know that's a very extreme example, but if our concern is national security, there is nothing to stop them from doing that unless you are monitoring every piece of land that's owned by a foreign national all around the country all the time. They could be growing fucking or like creating anthrax there. You know, we don't know. We have no control over that. And I would be more concerned about their domestic actions than what they're doing on the internet because like you said, I can't control.
Florida's got a bill, I'm pretty sure.
I can't control who my neighbor is. I can control what I do and do not input my information into. You know, I actively choose not to use TikTok. There's a lot of people who've told me, I think you guys really would see growth if you use TikTok and it would help. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that. I have a lot of questions about that. I don't want to be on any more social media. It's not just about China. There's some question about that, but like, I don't want to do that. You don't have to do that. There's nothing that's requiring you to be involved in TikTok. You don't have to kill yourself if you can't be on it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Florida did. Yeah, it's a new law that DeSantis got passed in the legislature that restricts, in the state of Florida, foreign nationals from owning land.
Right. So that's what I'm like, why is that not more of a concern than that they own technology companies?
Exactly.
We buy shit from fucking... People buy things from Huawei all the time. Like I'm seeing Huawei commercials every day on YouTube. People
fucking
are definitely
Timo.
People are definitely using Temu, Huawei.
Temu,
That's what I was thinking. Temu, Huawei's the technology company.
Yeah, Huawei's like the phones.
Right. So yeah, people are using Temu all the time. I know people buy shit from what's it called, Alibaba. Like what are you talking about? Half the shit we buy on Amazon, it comes from China.
Yeah.
So
And
I
it's
just
like,
don't understand what I've got to see, like even on Timcast when they were breaking it down, they were throwing shade at people who are skeptical of it, because they're like, sometimes the government does do good shit. That's a dumb thing to say. Everything I've ever seen shows me the government only does bad shit. And that's what you've said every other day you've been on the show, besides today, because you also don't like TikTok. That makes me question not like your intentions, but what the fuck What are you not seeing?
Are you trapped in your own bias to get
Yes.
out from this? Because
You're telling me now that
Yeah.
we should trust the government when every other day you've said they're only here to fuck you over? No, I don't trust them.
this is the one time they're doing something good, Donovan.
No, you're talking to me about dictation of information that Americans can consume. I don't think the government should be telling you what you can and can't consume. That's up to you.
Yes.
That is up to you. It's your responsibility to decide whether or not you're going to retard yourself. I
Yes.
don't want the government telling you that you can't do that.
Yeah,
That's,
I'm very supportive of the government telling their own employees that they can't put TikTok on their work phone.
totally.
Cool. Good for you, man. You're a fucking state employee. You work for the state and they get to make the call. That seems like a good national security thing. But if your real concern is national security, this doesn't really do anything. Like, it doesn't do anything except,
No.
I mean, you're talking baby. It's a baby play at this point, right?
Yeah. I'm
This
sending
is-
you an article.
This is ridiculous. I don't like TikTok. I don't necessarily want it to be around, but that's why I don't use it.
Right.
Just don't fucking use it.
Every social media company carries with it the concern and question of what they do with your data.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. If anything, this almost seems more direct. It's going to China. China is consuming that data.
Yep.
They're doing whatever they want to do with it, you know?
And
that's
they can manipulate their algorithm whatever way to show you the most retarded stuff, so you become dumber and dumber and
Right.
dumber. But you know whose fault that is? Yours. For using it.
another thing that came out this week. This is a gun thing, but it's kind of similar. HoloSun is a big gun company. They make like a lot of optics and stuff like that, and it's a Chinese company. And there's always been question about that because they also have American subsidiaries, obviously, and stuff like that. And I use Instagram Reels and get everything from TikTok too. 100%. That's
all.
Just stay on. Yeah,
Like a man.
like a man. Yeah. And so
Just fucking have some delayed gratification, right?
it came out this week that the company in China that owns HoloSun also produces like most of the optics for the Chinese military. And so there's all these gun tubers that are like, that have been super hard on for American optic companies, which the people are partial to HoloSun because you can get like a pistol red dot for a third of the cost of American one, which is still $250. It's still not fucking cheap, but
Yeah.
it's not $600 like you're spending for a Trigicon red dot that's this big on your fucking pistol, right? I have a hard time conceptualizing spending as much on a pistol red dot as I did on my first rifle. Like that's a little much for me,
Seems like a bit much, especially if it works.
So there's all these American gun tubers or pro-American gun tubers that are like, congratulations, every time you reviewed a HoloSun product or anything, you've just been giving more information to make Chinese optics better. Get the fuck out of my face, dude, because they're not stealing American technology every fucking second of every goddamn day.
Yeah,
They
right.
know everything you've said about a Trigicon optic since the day you even thought about it. So what the fuck are you saying to me? I don't care about this thing. Then don't buy that product. Then don't review the product. This is on you. This is not my problem. This is not my problem. I'm not gonna, this is way beyond the shit that I'm going to concern myself with, And so this brings me to this article, this MSN one, Senate mulls TikTok ban amid U.S. national security concerns, right? I just want to read some of these quotes from Blumenthal. Senators from both sides of the aisle warned Wednesday that TikTok endangers millions of users in the United States as Congress continues to weigh out how to protect U.S. national security amid growing concern that Chinese social media platform is a propaganda tool that could have a lasting impact on coming U.S. election. Quote, TikTok is a gun aimed at Americans' heads, Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat of Connecticut. That's what that is, Connecticut, right? Warned following a classified briefing in the Capitol. The Chinese communists are weaponizing information that they are constantly surreptitiously collecting from 170 million Americans and potentially aiming that information, using it through algorithms at the core of American democracy. We have seen this, right? We've talked about this, where the things that are being recommended in China are different than are being recommended here.
Totally
They're
different.
not degrading their own society in China. They're not stupid. They're doing it here because they're fucking smart, right?
Yes.
So days after the House overwhelmingly passed bipartisan legislation to effectively ban TikTok in the United States if Chinese owners do not sell the app, senior officials from the FBI, Justice Department, and officials and the Office of the Director of Intelligence held a classified briefing for members from the Senate Intelligence and Commerce Committees. TikTok is a grave national security threat to Americans. It's a threat to your privacy and the security of your data on your phone if you use TikTok. It's also a threat for Chinese communist propaganda, said Senator Tom Cotton, Republican of Arkansas, said TikTok and ByteDance and Chinese leaders go to great lengths to try and conceal what they're doing, but it's clear right there in the terms and conditions what they can do, and it's clear from 2 weeks ago how TikTok used to try and influence American politics. I'm going to comment on that in just a minute. I will say very emphatically, the American people need and deserve to hear what we've just been told because they would be deeply frightened. Blumenthal said the American people should be told everything that we heard. There's absolutely no reason to keep it secret. There's no sources or methods that may be endangered. It's now assessed by our people of what the Chinese communists are doing. They know what they're doing. We don't need to keep secret from them what we know they are doing. Only the American people don't know, and they deserve to hear. So to that end, if the feds or whatever, someone has some other type of super scary information about TikTok, we do deserve to know that. That allows us to make an informed decision on whether or not we're going to use that product.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you should keep it to yourself and decide whether or not we should get to use that product. That's not how this works.
No, that's a real trust us moment, which I'm sorry, but I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Here's this bill that we need to pass that's going to save everybody from the secret information that we just learned.
Yes.
That doesn't go very far.
I do not trust you. You tell me what they're doing and I will decide whether or not I'm going to use that product.
Especially from Mr. Blumenthal, who we've false validated him before.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit. So that's where I'm at with that. You know, I know if there's something going on that we don't know about, we deserve to know. It's a product that we're consuming. You know, it's the same deal as poison in fucking food. If you know that the government is poisoning the Teflon in the pots and pans is killing us, we deserve to know that.
Oh, yeah.
We deserve to know that because it's a product that we're consuming.
Yep. And goddamn, if there's not a lengthy track record of tons of American companies the U.S. government covering for those companies that are literally poisoning Americans.
Right. And then I have one last article that I just sent you that talks about the political part of it. And this one is about Instagram, right? And we talked about this right before the show. Users shocked to find Instagram limits political content by default. Oh, isn't that fucking weird? Instagram users have started complaining on X, formerly Twitter, after discovering that Meta has begun limiting recommended political content by default. Did y'all know Instagram was actively limiting the reach of political content like this? An X user wrote in an X post with more than 150,000 views as of this writing. I had no idea till I saw this comment. I checked my settings, and sure enough, political content was limited. Instagram quietly introducing a political content preference and turning on limit by default is insane, wrote another X user named Matt in a post with nearly 40,000 views. Instagram apparently did not notify users directly on the platform when this change happened. Instead, Instagram rolled out the change in February, announcing in a blog that the platform doesn't want to proactively recommend political content from accounts you don't follow. That post confirmed that Meta won't proactively recommend content and about politics on recommendation surfaces across Instagram and Threads, so that those platforms can remain a great experience for everyone. So, without telling you, they changed their algorithm and limited the amount of political content that you would see on your Explore page.
Fun.
Okay, so we want to talk about the way that foreign companies are influencing our politics. Domestic companies are doing that right now, and nothing is happening.
And they're not telling you.
They're not telling you, and nothing is being done about it.
Yep.
Right? This is not, we've already talked about, Timcast has covered 9 million times about how the Facebook users who are registered Democrats will, on average, are more likely to receive notifications or reminders to go and vote than Republicans. What the fuck is that about? It's just coincidence that just happens to be that way. Get the fuck out of here. This doesn't forgive Instagram, right? This is just as much a rebuke to them as it is a question of the federal government's choices. But why these two things are exactly the fucking same. If you're going to do something about banning a company because they're owned by China and therefore supposedly makes them more of a national security concern, American companies are actively involving themselves in politics while claiming they don't want to be involved. I don't believe you. Yeah. You don't care about this. You want control. That's what this seems to be to me. This is about control. This is not about protecting American people. This is about control. They want to control the information that you can receive. And on TikTok, they can't.
That's right.
They
don't have the control.
That. This is the only platform besides maybe X, right? Because to me, the question is still there, that they can't immediately and directly reach out to and influence the content that's on the platform. So I don't believe you. This is not about safety. This is about control.
100%. I totally agree with you. Which is why I still kind of, because at first I was like, ooh, ban TikTok. Let's do it, baby. Let's fuck up TikTok. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that it exists, but let's get rid of it. And now I'm just, there's zero difference in what the American companies are doing or what the Chinese company is doing. But let's also remember that the social media app of TikTok, as harmful as it is to everybody, it is no different necessarily than any other internet accessible fucking device that we buy from China.
Yes.
Because we have zero manufacturing base in this company, so we rely wholly on China to make everything that that comes into fucking Walmart. All right,
Yes.
like that kind of shit that we all buy every single day is still manufactured and sent over from China. And if you go buy a brand new fucking fridge or something like one of them, fucking smart TV, a cheap smart TV, it's the same shit as being collected, man. Like this is, yes, that's bad. We don't like that. But you know what else? It's everywhere, and there's no escaping the reality of the world that we live in right now.
Sorry, cameras. Fucking right into the camera.
I mean, that's just the way it goes. This seems so opportunistic to me to just get to try to get a win for the, like, it's a political win in election season. For a lot of people, they get to go home and say, we banned TikTok, and all the hardcore, midwits are gonna be like, yeah, fuck TikTok. We finally got rid of
and
it.
they can both
Yay."
win. Both sides can use this to win, and that's why
Yes,
they're
this
both
is
so down to vote for
yeah,
it.
that's why it was passed with the votes that it was passed with. It's such a bipartisan bill for reasons, because it's a win for everybody, and it really doesn't do anything.
Right.
Although it's turning out to really not be a political win for the Democrats, because
half their voter base is going to fucking kill themselves before 2024 election.
Or because most people are fucking retarded, and they're all these young voters that they've been trying to win over for so long. They're going to be like, well, you fucking took TikTok away from me. Fuck you. I'm not voting for you.
TikTok, no ceasefire.
Dude,
They're
no
blowing
ceasefire.
it, dude.
Yes.
They're blowing it.
They are indeed, dude. It ain't good. But yeah, if we really were concerned about national security, we'd be looking into the farmland around the fucking bases in the middle of nowhere, the fucking spy balloons flying over, the country multiple times. We'd actually be doing something if we were actually concerned with national security, but we're not. This is an easy political win for them, and so that everybody's on board. They want to try to do it.
Yes.
So that's it. And everybody needs to calm the fuck down about the possibility of losing TikTok. For God's sakes. Get a fucking life, man. That felt good.
Yeah, I didn't like the hate that I felt I was getting for being skeptical of the government. That's like, I feel like you're being dumb for not being more skeptical. Like,
Dude,
they're doing a thing you like, and so now it's good. Like,
yeah.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, dude. It was like that. I forget who the dude was on IRL that day, but like Tim was giving him the fucking business and not letting him. And mind you, he was kind of a midwit too, so he wasn't really able to track the conversation very well. But like, dude, how are you shilling for the government so hard for this, man? Yeah, TikTok's bad. Maybe you should, in a cultural battle, try to win over the hearts and minds of people and get them out away from TikTok and into something fucking else. I don't know. But you're not going to change China's influence on the country by having ByteDance divest from TikTok. You're not going to change anything by doing that. I don't fucking understand why you're so gung-ho about this. It did not make sense to me.
It's weird.
Because that carry out that logic, and you end at the same place where no foreign investment is ever allowed anywhere in the United States, which it's a totally separate conversation. But, the real estate market would be way more affordable if that was the case. I'll say that much.
Yes.
But, yeah, because if all these rich fucking Emiratis and stuff that own giant-ass buildings all over America just so they can have assets for their money, they'll pay way over asking. They're going to raise the rest of the prices around those areas, and it's like, what are we doing here?
We're
man?
turning into a foreign tax shelter is what we're turning into.
Yeah. Which is funny because our taxes are so fucked up. All of our rich people have to put our money somewhere else, but
yes.
they're the foreign tax shelter is
like,
here.
we have so much, we just need to hide it. Like, we just needs to go somewhere else.
Yep.
We just can't have this much laying around.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like, fuck taxes. We don't even care. We have so much coming in, we just can't have it just sitting around,
And I'd be interested, too, like, because isn't Telegram owned, like, in portion by, like, a bunch of, like, a Russian company?
I think so, yeah.
So why are we not doing that? They have way more than
and that's where all the extremists are too, is on Telegram.
Oh, shit gets wild over there.
I've never even used Telegram before. I have it on my phone, but I have never made an account. Like, I downloaded it probably 2 years ago, and Like, I didn't understand what it was. I thought it was just a new social media, and then I went to sign in, and it was like, give me your phone number. And I was like, get the fuck out of my face. And so
Exactly.
I just
Bye-bye.
never went any further than that.
That's so funny.
But after that, it grew. There was got like way bigger. And I'm like, maybe I should have been on here, but I don't want to be on my phone more. So.
No.
Welcome to the south of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat everything.